In this episode, we install grommets and build and attach the face frames. Now on these cabinets, for a slightly more premium look, I've chosen to line my shelf support holes with these little grommets, these little nickel-plated grommets. Gives it a much more finished appearance. All we do is we take this grommet tool, slide it onto the tip, in the hole, and then drive them home. Now, it can be a little hard on the hand to do this for a lot of holes, so I like to use a rubber mallet. And then our supports are these little nickel-plated metal brackets that just slide into the grommet. Now the next step in our process is to start making the face frames for our cabinets. I'm starting with one of the top cabinets. It doesn't really matter which one you start with. I'm using 3/4 inch cherry. I have freshly milled this from rough stock. I have ripped it to the right width. This side and the bottom are 1.5 inches. That's the size that I've chosen. The top is going to be 1 inch wider because I want to accommodate a small molding along the top. And this side is going to be at least 1 inch wider because I want enough material that when I install this, because this is going against the wall, I want to be able to scribe that to the wall and trim it. Now the first thing that I've done is I have trimmed my 2 side rails to the right length, exactly the same length as the height of the cabinet. I've taken this side rail, which is, according to the design, is supposed to be flush with the inside of this cabinet and will stick out 3/4 inch over the edge of the cabinet on this side. The reason for that is that when this cabinet is up, I'm going to make a decorative panel to put on this side of the cabinet, which will be made of full 3/4 inch cherry and a raised panel design. So I want to have this edge of the side rail stick out the same width as the thickness of the material I'm going to use. And I noticed putting up a sample of that material that it's slightly too wide. So I'm going to take this off and I'm going to use the jointer to take a little bit of a pass off the outside of it. Now I don't have a jointer in the shop as yet. I have one off-site that I use. So in order to do this, I have my rotor table set up to do edge joint. Now I clamp this back into position. I'll check it again, and that's much better. With the stiles clamped in place at the sides of the cabinets, now we're going to cut our top and bottom rails to fit. It's just a matter of measuring, marking, and trimming until it's just the right size. Now for joining our face frames together, I'm going to use the Kreg pocket hole system. It's a nice, relatively easy, convenient way of putting these frames together. It may not be the strongest joint in the world, but face frames don't need that much strength. They don't have to endure that much stress. Now, fastening our frames together is a pretty simple process. We just use a flat surface. I've just clamped a little piece of scrap to the side just to give it a little bit of a fence to work against. We place our stile face down against the fence. We bring our drilled pieces over, line the ends up, our special clamp to clamp the joint together. Now, the manufacturer says that glue is optional for these joints. In this particular application, and I tend to agree, I think the screws will do a fine job of holding things together. Then we just once again use our special pocket hole screws, which are specially designed for doing this. And there we have our finished frame. Now we're also going to fasten the face frames to our cabinets using the Kreg pocket hole system. Now we've taken the guide block and we clamped it, or put it in this special jig that comes with the master system with a clamp. And we just put it over the cabinet. Place. And we go all the way around the perimeter of the cabinet, drilling holes. Now that we've completed drilling our holes, we'll take the face frame and we will place it on top of the cabinet. Now this is one of the lower cabinets, so the face frame actually extends 3/4 of an inch below the bottom. Now to fasten this on, I'm going to use some clamps. First thing I'm going to do is line the bottom rail up with the bottom of the cabinet. Now that it's tight, we'll take our special pocket hole screws and we'll fasten it in from the bottom. There may be some slight warping in the sides of the cabinets. As I go along, I just try and straighten that up as I put the screws in. Okay. Now our face frame is attached. There's a couple of things I really like about this method of attaching the face frames. It's very easy. It doesn't show the fasteners from the front as you would get if you were using brads. And I also like it because I can put everything together, get everything fit properly. I can line the cabinets up, I can even scribe the edges together to make sure that they fit. Then I can easily take things apart, do my sanding, do my finishing, and then put them back together again.